Coming up on the live stream, Kayleigh Macaroni explains that Trump's intelligence can neither be verified nor corroborated. Just jump into the live stream. And we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to take a look at Kayleigh Macaroni, and Stephanie's already here, so we are good to go with the broadcast. Hey, Cam, good to see you. If you'd like to join along, please do. If you'd like to just watch without chatting, that's fine. If you'd like to be part of that chat room over there, that is a aggregation of 3 or 4 different chat rooms. The best way to chat with us is at youtube.com/KevinLeeFather, and you can just join the chat there, especially if you're on a PC. You can also watch it on your smart TV while you're on your phone. If you need help with any of this, just ask a teenager. They'll be happy to help you out. This is Kayleigh Macaroni from earlier today. It's been a delayed day. I had a coronavirus test. I've been messing with a broken dishwasher. I don't even want to go into it. So, hey, Lizzie, good to see you. Hey, Casey, everybody's here. Let's get going with what Kayleigh has to say today. And, folks, just a little bit of background. If you don't know, I am in the city of Seattle, which was recently pretty much taken over by a group of anarchists, protesters, where they were giving away free vegan coconut curry soup. Or just curry? Is curry soup? Soup in my head. So as you can see, I'm about to show you a map of how much of Seattle they took over, pretty much the entire city. Here it is right there. The pink part took over the whole 3 blocks and a soccer field. It's been a nightmare, folks. So good news today. Here's Kayleigh.
So I am pleased to inform everyone that Seattle has been liberated. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, otherwise known as Chaz, I think they switched their name to CHOP, but I'm told they went back to Chaz, was a failed 4-week Democrat experiment by the radical left, and the results are in. Anarchy is anti-American. Law and order is essential. Peace in our streets will be secured. While the Democrat mayor of Seattle proclaimed that Chaz was to be, quote, the summer of love, in fact, it was not. And other failed Democrat politicians also remain passive or even silent in the face of anarchy. But
I'm free! And it's half-price burger night. Right up there in Chaz, so I'm good.
While that happened, President Trump set the tone. Law and order must prevail to preserve peace in our streets. The president is not the Democrat government.
I mean, it was fairly peaceful. It was a street fair. Just like any street fair, there's going to be scuffles. There's going to be some violence involved.
Governor of the state of Washington. The president is not the Democrat mayor of Seattle. But nevertheless, the president must lead by example.
Hold on. The president is not the Democrat mayor of Seattle. Can someone fact check that, please?
And be prepared to act in the face of failed Democrat leadership, which is what we saw in Democrat Seattle and Democrat Wisconsin.
Can someone also count the number of times she said Democrat rather than Democratic?
President Trump has always stood on the side of law and order, and we are pleased.
President Trump has always stood on the side. Write that down.
Pleased to report that law and order has prevailed and Seattle has been liberated from the anarchist. In President Trump's America, autonomous zones will have no sanctuary. The BAZ, B-H-A-Z.
The autonomous zone is within Seattle, which is a sanctuary city, so...
which stood for the Black House Autonomous Zone across from the White House, was swiftly dismantled. 100 anarchists were arrested for rioting and destruction of federal property.
BAZ is a much better name than Chaz. Really? Boz is awesome. There's a great singer called Bozzy. Check him out.
Here in D.C., I believe that number is now above 300. 4 men have been charged in federal court for attempting to tear down the statue of Andrew Jackson.
We're getting close to the part here where I'm sure she's going to give credit to Mayor Durkin of Seattle for ending CHOP, or the Chaz. or whatever you want to call it. So it's any moment now. She's going to praise the Democratic mayor of Seattle. Here we go.
Lafayette Square, and there are 200 open domestic terrorism investigations.
You know what there are in Seattle? A lot of crows, and she's going to be eating some of it soon, I'm sure. She's going to apologize to Mayor Durkin, and she's going to...
You contrast the president's vision of law and order to that of the failed Chaz experiment and anarchy.
Yeah.
And here's what you find in the failed Democrat experiment that took place out in Seattle.
Yeah.
The Seattle Times...
And by the way, some of them are Democrat. I'm sure there's some of them that are Republican. There's mostly anarchists. She's not mentioning Antifa, which is weird. I thought it was all Antifa for a while there. I don't know what party Antifa votes for. Anarchists are not really pro-government. That's the thing. I don't know how many anarchists actually vote.
Times said the shooting at Seattle's CHOP protest tragically killed a 16-year-old boy.
I am so glad she brought that up. Yes, a child was killed with a gun in the CHOP zone. And a child was killed with a gun outside. In fact, several children were killed outside the CHOP zone with a firearm. I want to show you guys something because I'm glad she brought this up. And that's interesting that a child, a 16-year-old, yes, a teenager, but still a child, was killed with a firearm. And that's one child. Firearms are the second leading cause of death in this country among children, right behind motor vehicle crashes. 3,143 kids died because of firearms in 2016. That's almost 9 a day. But you know what? Let's talk about that one firearm death in Chaz. Let's do that. Is that unusual? Is that something that, is that unique to the United States or unique to Chaz? No, there's almost, I think it's 8.6. We'll just say 9 per day in the United States. 2016 was the most recent figures I can find. Let's look at that by country. I'm going to move this over, kids. Give me a second here. Here we go. Nope. Trust me on this. I will move it. Here it comes. There it is. These are childhood deaths by country. Here's some other countries. Here's Sweden, Austria, Hungary, and of course this is per capita, all the per capitas. England and Wales, you can see where's... it's way over here. But the problem is the Democrat Chaz. That's the problem we should be talking about. Whew, glad we cleared that up. Give me just a moment, please, folks. And we are going to go back to Kayleigh.
Leaving a 14-year-old seriously injured. That's what happens in an autonomous zone. The police chief, Carmen Best, who did a marvelous job winding down the CHOP zone, noted that CHOP has become lawless and brutal, and enough is enough, and she took action. According to reports, quote, police also investigated several vehicles circling the CHOP zone with people inside carrying firearms and wearing body armor. This was no, quote, summer of love, as the Democrat...
So people were carrying firearms in the United States.
Mayor in Seattle said. And President Trump compelled action. He has said, take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will.
Oh, so it's President Trump should take. He compelled it. And the power of Trump compels thee. The power of Trump compels thee.
He has said this is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped immediately, move fast. And finally, the Democrat mayor in Seattle, who was long delayed, finally gave the order to dismantle the Chaz, and it was an admission.
So great job, Jenny Durkin, Democratic mayor of Seattle, right? Kayleigh, you take it. You say it so much better than I do.
It was an admission that President Trump's vision is right, that anarchy is wrong, and that law and order bring peace. And with that, I'll take questions.
So she cleared out Chaz, which is what you've been asking her to do, demanding that she do it. And her doing it is an admission that, okay, that's one way to describe it.
Kristen.
Thank you so much.
Here's the Dr. Hillybilly. Dr. Hillybilly? That's your name from now on. And when I say it, I'm going to blow on your tummy. Dr. Hillybilly. Here are the questions for you, Mr. Impatient. Should call you Dr. No Patience. That works on so many levels.
National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien said that the intelligence about the alleged Russia plot was being taken so seriously that U.S. allies were alerted and that it could impact military tactics. So how is that a hoax?
Well, as I mentioned yesterday, what happens when any intelligence comes in unverified, if there is any way that it could affect American troops or allies, it is immediately communicated on the ground to ensure that troops and commanders and generals can make the best decisions, tactically speaking. So that's the way it's done. But what I would say is, at the same time, until there's a strategic decision for the president to make, until it is verified, it is not briefed up to the president of the United States. That's how intelligence works.
Briefed up, it was. This morning, O'Brien, who's the National Security Advisor, just like General Flynn and so many others, he was on Fox and/or Friends, and the Deuce asked him if it was in the presidential daily briefing, which is the written briefing that he gets, which we all know that Trump doesn't read. I mean, even the right wing admits that. And it was in there. The Deuce asked him if it was in there, and he avoided the question. And then he said, well, I'll play it for you. I have it. I haven't checked volume on this, so if you're wearing earphones, be careful.
Officer, a government employee.
Well, leaks are always unfortunate. So it sounds like it was in the material, but the briefer decided not to present it to the president because it was unverified. Could you just explain how he does get?
So yeah, O'Brien never refuted that. So there's Fox and/or Friends saying it was in the presidential daily brief, and O'Brien just, yeah. So it was in there. They did send that information, even though it was unverified and uncorroborated. I said it, to the president. Oh, and we're going back. This is a new system for me. Sorry. I got to find it.
It's about the alleged Russia plot.
President of the United States, that's how intelligence works.
There we go.
Angry or frustrated or upset about the fact that he was not in the loop on this when members of Congress were briefed and U.S. allies were briefed?
No, the president believes that and has great faith in Ambassador O'Brien and the others who made the decision that this shouldn't be risen to his desk.
Ambassador O'Brien that we just saw on Fox and Friends.
It was a career CIA officer with more than 30 years tenure who made the decision not to brief it up. And
Okay, which is it, 30 years or tenure? Think about that.
National Security Advisor agreed with that decision. She's an excellent officer and does great work, and made the decision not to brief it up. It was the right decision to make, and at this moment, as I speak to you, it is still unverified.
And Kayleigh, just to follow very quickly, I've heard you and Robert O'Brien and others express real outrage about the leaks. Is there outrage about what the intelligence community is investigating, which is the possibility of these Russian bounties targeting U.S. troops?
Make no mistake that this administration has acted tough on Russia, always makes the decision that's in the best interest of protecting our troops, like killing General Soleimani, who killed 600 American troops, maimed thousands others, and al-Baghdadi. We always act in the best interest of our troops, but this is unverified still at this very moment.
Stephanie, which Cuomo interview are you talking about? Is it the one with the Cartridge family, the couple in St. Louis with the guns?
John.
Kayleigh, why is the president calling Black Lives Matter a symbol of hate?
Well, what
Good
the
question.
president was noting is that that symbol, when you look at some of the things that have been chanted by Black Lives,
that symbol is just the words Black Lives Matter. That's what they're referring to. New York wants to paint Black Lives Matter on Fifth Avenue. The president wants to shoot people on Fifth Avenue. So it's like, I mean, really, same thing. Let's be honest.
Matter, like pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. That's not an acceptable phrase to paint on our streets. Look, he agrees that all Black Lives Matter, including that of Officer David Dorn, Patrick Underwood, two officers whose lives were tragically taken amid these riots, all Black Lives.
Okay, we're getting comments blocked on YouTube, and I don't see Danielle. Where's Danielle? Who wants to be a moderator, guys? Let me know if you don't want to be a moderator, and then I think you can push the comments through. I don't know, but let me know if you're interested, and you can be a moderator if I knows ya.
Lives do matter. He agrees with that sentiment, but what he doesn't agree with is an organization that chants pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon about our police officers, our valiant heroes who are out on the street protecting us each and every day.
Americans of all races have protested in all 50 states.
Oh, she was on Cuomo? Macaroni was on Cuomo today. I'll cover that another day because I haven't watched it yet.
It's around that phrase.
Actually, I suppose we could cover it right after this, but it's up to you guys. We'll decide later. We got to get through this first, and that's going to be another 6 hours.
Black Lives Matter, and the president is here calling it a symbol of hate.
He's talking about the organization. I would note to you that the Greater New York BLM president has said if this country doesn't give us what we want, that we will burn down the system, and I could be speaking literally. I'd call that a pretty hateful statement.
But Kayleigh,
Yes,
he's not
Ben.
talking about the organization in his tweet. He says
Yes,
the words.
Ben.
He says the words.
Which,
Black Lives Matter.
what's the name of the organization again?
Black Lives Matter.
There you go. You just answered my question. Go ahead, Ben.
Question on coronavirus. Earlier today, the president.
This is my best friend's girlfriend, and this is the point where I've decided I'm not going to hang out with my best friend anymore.
Said, I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope. Is hoping that it will disappear the president's strategy at this point?
No, the president's confident that it'll disappear. He's confident that he's put together a revolutionary, first-class team that is going to break through bureaucracy and get us a vaccine. He's confident that that will lead us to a place where we won't have COVID on our hands. And in fact, there was very pleasing news today from Pfizer and BioNTech that showed positive results for their vaccines.
What I want to know is how come we have to wait for the coronavirus to disappear by itself when it was Kayleigh Macaroni who said this.
Absolutely. This president will always put America first. He will always protect American citizens. We will not see diseases like the coronavirus come here.
I hope that was the right audio. I can't hear it in my head. The coronavirus is never going to come here, and that's a fact. So all of this is just nonsense. She's basically placating us is what's going on. And really, us asking questions about the coronavirus, or me getting a coronavirus test where they poked my brain out of my ears today, that's an admission that Kayleigh Macaroni's right.
Dr. Fauci says that we're heading toward the 100,000 cases per day. But so why does the president have evidence that it would just disappear?
Well,
he distinguished between a vaccine and it just disappearing.
One thing I would note with regard to cases, we're aware that there are embers in the country. We're aware that there are places with rising cases, and that's why Dr. Birx is on the ground and others. We're continually assessing that. But one thing I would note is just that when you do test more people, you do identify more cases, and that is rapidly ongoing. We're testing more than 500,000 a day. To give you an example, on April 6th, really the height of the pandemic, we were doing 151,525 tests. One day, Thursday is the number that I have here. We conducted 637,587 tests. So when you have more than a 5-fold increase in tests, you have a greater identification of cases.
Do you consider what's happening in Florida, in Texas, Arizona as embers?
I would say that we see rising cases, we see embers.
Look at those embers. There's the embers right there. 40, is that current? Jesus, somebody look up how many tests we had today. And tell them to stop it. No tests, no disease. Look up how many cases we had today. I don't know if that was yesterday for the Times. It's not interactive. So, okay, here we go.
Around the country, we always knew that would come with reopening, but those who are identifying as positive cases do tend to be younger individuals, as the vice.
Higher than ever numbers. Higher than ever new cases, and they're embers. We didn't start the embers.
The president noted, and I think the increase in testing is part of the contribution to what we're seeing. Yeah.
Boom, there it is. Stephanie, we're not an ember, we're a forest fire, and the forest wasn't raked.
Today, Mayor Bowser said her office is communicating with the Department of Interior about the 4th of July celebration, and it's not, in her mind, in keeping with CDC guidelines, as well as DC Department of Health guidelines. The White House has said over and over again we should look to our local authorities for how we should act. Should the administration be following the local guidelines in this?
The president has said that we should follow our local authorities with masks, so that's the decision that he encourages people to follow those authorities. The CDC guidelines, I'd also note, say recommended but not required, and we are very much looking forward to the 4th of July celebration.
Ember is, it's She was a beautiful beauty queen. She was in my Miss Universe pageant, which had tremendous ratings. She was from Alabama, if I remember correctly, and her Amber was the most beautiful. So I had to inspect her. I went down to the dressing room that I called the bunker, and I had to inspect all the girls, make sure they were doing fine. And she was a solid 9.5. Maybe a 10 if you've got lower standards than I do. She gained weight over the years. She's a 2 now, but Amber was just...
Are you preparing some options for the president to consider?
Okay, thank you, Alex. Where's a mask, Janes? 45,538 today. Wow. It's getting worse. And that's a lot of embers.
For retaliation against...
And here's the thing, people. Here's the thing, and I know I'm talking to the man out there. Hombres, bros, come on in, circle up, and I know you're going to understand me when I say this. The coronavirus has affected all of us in some way or another. Some of us have had people that... But here's the thing. This needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. I can see my hair. Okay? I can see my hair. I swore I wouldn't do this. Let's get back to Kayleigh.
Russia, should this intelligence prove to be true?
And I won't get ahead of the president on action. I also won't get ahead of the intelligence, which at this moment is unverified.
Does the president want this intelligence to be corroborated or not? Or what has he told his advisors on this front?
The president, it's unverified. It's being assessed. It's going through the same process normal intelligence would go through. But what's unfortunate is we're having this discussion because of the New York Times deciding to run with this and erroneous information about the president being briefed, which was not true, and the erroneous information that there was a conclusion when in fact there was not a conclusion. Jen?
Yeah, Kayleigh, can you confirm that the CIA director and the NSA director will brief the Congressional Gang of 8 tomorrow about the Russia bounties?
Yes, that is the plan.
Two of them, anyone else that will be briefing the gang?
I'm not entirely sure who else will be in that briefing.
And can you also say, does the president generally have confidence in the intelligence community's findings and conclusions about Russia?
Yes, he does have confidence, and he's many times acted on verified intelligence, and there's times he's decided that it's in our strategic interest not to act. I'd give you the example of Soleimani and al-Baghdadi, and then the example of Iran shooting down when Iran engaged in actions and the president said it's not time to engage because shooting down an entity is not the same as losing loss of civilian lives. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh.
Shooting down a drone, excuse me. Yes.
The president has come under criticism this week for statements that he has made that his detractors say are dog whistles to a certain segment of his base that he is trying to gin up for re-election. Those include comments like Kung Flu, our hair.
Oh, I was going to say it's been 4 days since one of their masks slipped down below their nose, but if I had a time machine...
while talking about Confederate statues, and most recently they include the video that I know you discussed in here the other day, but the video of a supporter of his using the term white power. So why hasn't the president denounced that video and called that a hateful statement?
That's a good point. If you guys want to see the white power video again I put together, let me know.
The president took down that video. That deletion speaks strongly, and what I would note, the president has repeatedly condemned hate. August of 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America.
He read that.
In April
He read that.
2019, we have no tolerance for those who disrupt this peace, and we condemn all hate and violence, especially in our places of worship.
From a teleprompter.
August 2018, I condemn all types of racism. He's repeatedly done this.
He's done this on many sides. Many sides.
That specific video and said that that is hateful language that was used in it.
He deleted it. The deletion speaks for itself. His repeated condemnations of hate speak
The deletion speaks for itself because apparently Trump can't.
For themselves, and this is a president who's repeatedly condemned hate and repeatedly encouraged for us all to come together. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. Did the president meet today with Senate Republican leader McConnell about the future recovery aid package? And is there any sort of agreement on additional unemployment insurance?
We do keep crying, Captain, and thank you for noticing that. I'm such a good actor. I did make myself cry. I have a Kleenex right now. I made myself cry talking about my hair. Why can't I get work? Oh, that's right. There is no work. California just shut everything down again. So, cheers, people. And I appreciate it, Captain. I really do. Captain Nemo, go ahead and comment as much as you want. Number one, you're amusing us. Number two, you're helping my rankings. I get more money. If you'd like to support us and you're not Captain Nemo, then please go to kevinleefather.com where you can become a patron. Lizzie said something about the devil getting me because of tears or something. Is there a story there? Is that a common knowledge thing? I have a story about tears and how to keep children from crying, but let's move on.
Or stimulus payments?
Yeah, so I have no announcements with regard to his meetings, but what I would say is he did mention that in a phase 4, he would be open to direct payments. On the point of unemployment insurance, one thing that he's concerned about is he does not want to see an incentive not to work. And enhanced unemployment benefits that Senator Schumer has suggested would be an incentive for people not to get back to work, and he wants to encourage people to get back to work. And at the same time, he's mentioned a payroll tax holiday, a big one for our workers that helps those who are on the lowest end of the payroll, would help the Americans who need it most. So those are some things he's talked about for phase 4.
I want to cover this because this is kind of important. 2 weeks ago, the president said there's going to be a stimulus check, and I have that. It was an interview for Scripps. Let's see if I pull that up. If not, I will prep that for you while you guys watch. Lizzie, you're doing a callback apparently on on something that I said. Like, I remember things that I say. I say a lot of things, Lizzie. I don't have it. I'm going to find it, and we're going to watch it. I can find it quickly here, so give me just a second, and we can watch it. I'm going to let... So basically they're saying, yeah, we're going to do a stimulus. The payroll... The question specifically was, can we get a stimulus check? How much and when? Trump talked about that again today, but he just conflates everything together. He doesn't understand how things work. He's got a very serious comprehension issue. He really does. There's something mentally wrong with the person. But let's see. It should... Right here. I've pulled it up. Okay, guys, here it is.
In Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, who are still struggling economically, sir. They spent all of that first stimulus check. Are you going to get them a second stimulus check?
Yeah, we are. Look, we had this...
When are you going to get it?
We had this going better than anybody's ever seen before. We had the best job numbers, the best economics, the best economy we've ever had. And then we had the virus come in from China, and now we're rebuilding it again. We will be doing another stimulus package. It'll be very good. It'll be very generous. And
how much? How much? People want to know.
You'll find out about it. You'll find out.
When are you going to do it? When are you going to announce it?
I think over the next, I think it's going to be bipartisan. I think it's going to be over the next couple of weeks, probably.
On Saturday night, you said that you told your...
The question was about the stimulus check very clearly. I mean, any normal human being would understand that, but Trump just hears single words. He's like a dog, just hearing his names, except the dogs are great. And so he just hears stimulus, and he goes into, oh yeah, we're going to have a stimulus package. It's going to be, I won't tell you how much it's going to be. And of course, it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. Everything is 2 weeks with Trump, and there's a very specific reason he says 2 weeks. I'm going to put together a video about that later. But yeah, he promised us a stimulus check, and that was about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
You used the word embers to describe the coronavirus, but yesterday another all-time record of 47,000 cases and 4 times this week a new record. Why do you use the word embers when many people would say it's more like a wildfire?
So I use the word embers because that is what the president has acknowledged that would happen around the country. You would see spikes across the country.
So embers are spikes because with embers, you can stamp them out with your foot. Spikes don't do that.
He said at times you would see a fire across the country, embers, fires, but at the same time, I would note the increase in cases, or the increase in testing, 6-fold increase in testing. You identify more cases.
Yeah, more testing, more cases. We get it. Olix says new total 52,770. That makes more sense because the New York Times seems to register that. Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia all set records. I'll take your word for it, Olix. We might look at that later, but I'm thinking we might get that Cuomo interview if you guys are still up for it.
I'd also note that
yeah, it's on the rise in 45 states. It's only coming down in 2 states, and those are Rhode Island and New Jersey, which were just randomly the 2 states we looked up yesterday. Call back, Lizzie. Up your bum. I said bum instead of ass because it's Canada Day. Happy Canada Day, everybody.
Secretary Azar said that we've seen nationwide that fatalities at a 2-month low. So this is a different situation when those who are testing positive are younger. We have increased tests. We're aware where there are surges. That's why Dr. Birx is on the ground. But we believe we are equipped to handle what.
That's why Dr. Scarf is on the ground. Like it's going to help. Arizona, we've got like 8,000 new cases today. Oh, we're going to send Dr. Scarf. She's having scarves for everyone. They don't even have to have masks. They can just.
What we see on the horizon.
Has the president made a conscious decision to talk less about the virus? You know, I think in his town hall with Sean Hannity, someone measured it was only 3 minutes that he discussed it. He tweets about it far less often than he used to.
The president is not focused on talking. He's focused on action, and his administration has taken
He's not focused on talking. He's focused on tweeting. We know
historic
this.
action with regard to the coronavirus. We have an excess amount of PPE. Surge, we have a huge amount of ventilators in the stock.
We do not have an excess amount of PPE. I know nurses, and they're still using a mask for a week.
Things that could never be done, we were told, have been done under this administration. Testing more than 600,000 a day.
Sparklers, Boa. They're not because of the 4th of July. Boa just says, "Good one." We're not calling them embers. We're calling them sparklers. Did you guys? Oh. As a Canadian, I can ask you, we used to have these sparklers. You know, sparklers. The little things you hold. That's the sound sparklers make. I'm a voiceover artist. And we used to have sparklers that we could actually grab with our hands. You could not burn yourself on these sparklers. So then I moved to the States and someone has a sparkler. I was like, oh, yeah, I love that. And, does anybody else besides me remember the sparklers you could grab with your hands?
This president has done a historic job with regards.
Or as a child did, I just have no feeling in my hands.
The coronavirus. Louise.
Thank you. President yesterday tweeted that he's angry against China. There's
Thank
anger
you,
against China and India
also.
So India has.
With regard to the coronavirus, we have an
this is a good question coming up.
PPE surge. We have a huge amount of
I rewound.
ventilators
Hold
in
on.
the stockpile. Things that could never be done, we were told, have been done under this administration. Testing more than 600,000 a day. This president has done a historic job with regard to the coronavirus. Louise.
Well, yeah, because he's the president and it's in the past. Therefore, everything the president does is historic, really. I mean, that's the way it works. Everything we do is historical. David's historical. No, Kevin. What? No, never, never. What did I say? What is everybody disagreeing with? I don't even know.
Thank you. President yesterday tweeted that he's angry against China. There's anger against China and India also. So India has banned 59 apps from China, including TikTok. How does the president knows about it, and what are his views on this?
Okay, so the question is about India banning TikTok and 59 other apps. A lot of the apps are Chinese made. And when you put TikTok on your phone, you're letting the Chinese government get all your information. I mean, that's just the way it is. One of the ways the Russian government, the Chinese government got information in 2016, for example, do you all remember what those things on Facebook, what Disney princess are you? And then you click on it and say, yeah, sure, take my friend's information, etc. And then they got all the information from your friends and all the biographical information and the identity information from you on Facebook. And they were able to use that and target you specifically for ads that they thought would appeal to you, to make you not like Hillary if you lived in a swing state, or if you were African American in a swing state and male. They thought, well, how can we suppress that vote? And it worked. So when you click on one of these, which Disney princess are you, or you're using TikTok, or my son, who's a computer programmer, tells me that Zoom, if you install the app as well, the Chinese government can get into your system. Who knows for sure? Well, a lot of it is known for sure. I don't know if Zoom is. I don't want to disparage Zoom, but my son is sure of it. when you do all of that, you're just letting foreign governments into your computer. And when you look at all the lines of systems. So the question is about, which Disney princess am I? I'm Ariel. Oh, sorry. The question was about whether TikTok is something that the president is thinking of taking action on. And listen how she answers.
So with regard to India and China, we're closely monitoring the situation. He is as well. Both India and China have expressed a desire.
She's talking about the India-Chinese conflict, which is a border war going on right now between India and China, and not about TikTok. She doesn't even hear the question. She just hears, oh, India, China. He's Indian, China, binder, India, China. And here's our statement on India, China, which isn't really a statement. It's just like, yes, India, China. But no response on TikTok.
And we support a peaceful resolution of the current situation. And he said that China's aggressive stance along the India-China border fits with a larger pattern of Chinese aggression in other parts of the world. And these actions only confirm the true nature of the Chinese Communist Party.
The question was about Sarah Cooper.
TikTok, India banning the TikTok app.
No announcements on that. I would.
Yeah. Will you be banning the TikTok app? No. No announcement. Anytime she has no idea, it's no announcements on that at this time.
Just point you to what Secretary Pompeo said earlier.
I was wrong.
Yes.
When can we expect the president to weigh in on Israel's plan to annex parts of the West Bank?
President weighing in. The president is 238 pounds of pure muscle. Yes.
In the Jordan Valley, and how much does this delay perhaps have to do with the concern about setting evangelicals here in the United States, who, of course, are a really important part of the president's base in the election effort?
Yeah, so I've not spoken to him about that specific issue, but he's a great supporter of Israel, and I would just leave it at that.
But Kellyanne said that there could be something this week, so I'm just wondering what the delay is. And
hold on, Kellyanne said that early. Is she not also Kellyanne? I thought there was a cloning. It's not.
Maybe you could weigh in on, there are concerns this could be the final nail in the coffin on a Palestinian state. Like, what is the president thinking about that?
So no announcements on that front, and I won't get ahead of him on anything that would happen this week or beyond. Yes.
The president has said.
And none of you have shared which Disney princess you are. I'm disappointed. I thought somebody else at least would say they were Ariel as well. Everybody wants to be Ariel. I'm Ariel.
In this room that he wants to meet the Taliban leadership. Now that world leaders are coming here again, is that on the cards? Is that going to happen soon? Is there a timetable?
So again, I won't get ahead of the president on that. What the president wants is to see.
Wait, can you broadcast video on Parler like you can on Twitter? Oh, I've got some ideas, people. Somebody find that out. Go.
Our troops come home from Afghanistan. He has been on the record being against keeping a sustained presence in Afghanistan. He does not believe in foreign adventurism and wars that drag on. He believes the ultimate way to secure our troops is to bring them home.
Have the reports of the Russian bounties to Taliban fighters affected that calculus?
That's unverified intelligence that's currently being assessed. Yamish?
Hi, thanks, Kayleigh. The first question I have is two questions. The first is, on Monday, the president went after stripping racist names on buildings. On Tuesday, he went after a rule to combat racial segregation. And then today, he said that he described the words Black Lives Matter as a symbol of hate. Why is he digging in on race in this way?
So first, I mean, if you're...
David, you're not Rapunzel. For the last time, your hair isn't that long, and Rapunzel isn't a Disney princess.
Saying that the fact that he does not want to rename our bases, if you're considering that racist, then apparently 56% of America is as well, because 56% of America...
Marcy, you are definitely Lilo. Am I Stitch? Can I be Stitch?
...is against changing the name of U.S.
Maurice is your Stitch.
...military bases. He believes that our young men and women who left...
Someone wrote the other day and said, I can always tell you're joking because you stop talking and then you have that little smirk on your face. And that's my face.
these bases overseas, many of whom lost their lives, and the last thing they saw was being on one of these military bases, that they should not be told that the base that they trained in, the last place they saw on American soil was a racist institution. And that's
We're going back on this one. Sorry, I was being an idiot.
Bases, changing the name. 56% of America is against changing the name.
Okay, so this is about changing the name of, for example, Fort Bragg, etc., the names of bases that have people associated with the Confederacy, the traitors, the people who killed 300,000 Americans. So this is in response to changing the names of the bases.
Of U.S. military bases. He believes that our young men and women who left these bases overseas, many of whom lost their lives, and the last thing they saw was being on one of these military bases.
The last thing they saw, the ones who lost their life, the last things they saw were being on one of these. Did we kill them at the bases? No. I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt here because she seems to be floundering a little bit. So the soldiers who went overseas and died, and the Russians gave the Afghanis money. Sorry, mixing this up. So they went overseas in World War II, for example, from Fort Bragg, and they died.
They should not be told that the base that they trained in, the last place they saw on American soil was a racist institution, and that's a proposition.
But they're dead. They don't. So telling them they're dead people, you can't tell dead people things. The only thing dead people do are A, decompose, and B, vote for Democrats. That's what I know.
The vast majority of America agrees with.
Including him saying that the words Black Lives Matter, as you've noted, has been chanted in 50 states. Why is he saying that that's a symbol of hate, on top of all the other things that he's done just this week alone in terms of race?
You know what? I love the hell out of Yamiche. She's awesome. And I want her to bring a binder. Oh, man. So that when she says on top of all the other things, in February 2019, Trump said, I hate the blacks, etc., etc. No, he did say, according to some, he said back in the 80s or 90s or something, he didn't want blacks handling his accounting because they're not good with numbers.
Well, is pigs in a blanket frying like bacon racist? I mean,
I am so hungry.
Is that hateful? That is a hateful
Is pigs in a blanket frying like bacon racist? No, it is not.
Thing to say, I would argue. I would think the vast majority of America would agree with that too. I think the vast majority of America would think it's hateful to say that we will burn down the system, and I could be speaking literally. I think the vast majority of America would agree with him yet again that holding up a severed pig's head is unacceptable. You're
not going to engage on that. I have a second question.
I did engage on that.
The second question
I engaged on that, Yamiche, and I said we agree. All Black Lives Matter with that sentiment, but we will not stand with an organization that exhibits that kind of hate against our police officers.
The second question is, what does the president have to say to military service, the families of service members who are really afraid that their loved ones might have been killed in connection to this Russia bounty? Their families are already saying, we want the United States and federal government to call us and settle us up. Kristen had an interview with the father saying that just this week. What is this president's message to the military?
Wait, did at random just fact check? Is Rapunzel a Disney princess? Wait, I haven't seen Tangled. Is she entangled? I feel now I'm entangled in this. I have no interest whatsoever in the press conference anymore. Is Rapunzel a Disney princess? I'll tell you one thing, she ain't no Ariel.
Families in this country.
So that it's unverified intelligence, it's continually being assessed, and the Department of Defense has said they do not know of any Americans that have been killed in
David, did you just check that? Did you just check to see if Tangled was Rapunzel? Or did you actually know that?
Relation to this unverified intelligence that's currently being assessed.
Okay, so here she asks an OAN, Chanel Rion, a question, or for a question, which tells us that she's about to wrap up. So here's a staged question, which she'll answer. She'll look in the binder, do the binder drop, and walk off.
Thank you, Kayleigh. The president has stated...
Heather who? What, technically, yes. It's me. David, you knew that because you are Rapunzel, of course. Instinctually. Technically, yes, Heather. What are you saying technically yes to? Okay, we're winding down here, so I'm paying more attention to the chat. Guys, in all seriousness, or in all facetiousness, let me know if you want me to find the Chris Cuomo interview from today, because I can pull that up pretty easily.
That he will not tolerate defunding police, and he said this multiple times. Considering that many Democrat-led cities have now done so, including New York City as of this morning, what does not tolerating this move look like from the president's vantage at this time?
Yeah, I mean, speaking out fervently against it, and what it means is, this executive order gives additional funding to police departments if they meet certain standards. We want safe policing. We want to make sure that police officers are trained to de-escalate. That's why there is this supplementary funding in the EO that incentivizes and rewards police departments that train their officers in de-escalation, that get rid of chokeholds except when there's an incident of lethal force. But look, he stands firmly with America yet again on this, with 64% of opposing defunding the police.
That's an incredibly low number. 64%? Only 64% say don't defund the police? That's astonishingly low.
A huge number, 57% according to another HuffPo YouGov.
Thank you, Heather. Yes, okay, so Tangled is Rapunzel. Again, I never saw it. And David is Rapunzel. So, not going to fact check that.
Polls stand against it, and look, where America stands is here.
Plump Trump, I'll do
We're
it.
in a place where 64% of the nation are concerned that the growing criticism of America's police will lead to a shortage of police officers. That will harm all Americans. It's an untenable principle, and it's unacceptable when you have people like Representative Ocasio-Cortez.
What is with the cry? Jacob, you missed earlier. Go back earlier. I was actually crying. I was literally crying. Here's the tissue to prove it. Wow, that was white. All white. Let's get back to this.
Is really suggesting where the Democrat Party stands today.
This is water. This is liberal tears. See? This is what I drink out of. You can tell because there's ice in it. Wait, there. That's ice. And that's just my tears from the broadcast today. That's how much I care for you as an American and a Canadian. Happy Canada Day. And to answer your question, yes, I have citizenships in both countries. Yes, that's totally permissible. Yes, of course, I'm a bi-citizen. I'm a dual citizen.
Because taking $1 billion away from NYPD police officers wasn't enough for her. She wants to take it all away. She doesn't want police officers, and that's a really unacceptable proposition.
On the USMCA also, it takes effect at midnight. What immediate changes is the White House hoping to...
Because that's what all the Americans care about today is the USMCA. Grandpa called, and he's going to the doctor. Apparently, he's sneezing really badly, and he can't breathe. Okay, great. We'll head there. I just want to catch up on this. CNN's talking about the USMCA.
Immediately, starting tomorrow, and then are there any elements of the USMCA that may be hindered because of COVID-19?
Yeah, the USMCA today, that goes into effect. It's a huge deal. For years, for decades, NAFTA wreaked havoc.
Yeah, nobody cares about NUFTA. Heather, we were talking about Disney princesses because there was a question about India dropping TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese-made app. Apps like that and apps like, remember on Facebook in 2016 and before when they were like, which Disney princess are you? Or what does your sign say about you? All those Facebook things where which celebrity do you look like? And then it morphs your face with Jim Carrey. Or probably not your face, Heather. I don't know. But with me, it's always Jim Carrey. Or who else? Alec Baldwin sometimes. And who's the other guy? Chris O'Dowd. That's who I look like, apparently. Anyway, Jacob asked, did you just say liberal pap smears? No. Adjust your volume. And keep asking questions because the more you chat, the more money I make. So thank you and welcome, Jacob. Stick around as long as you can, please. Anyway, when you fill out one of those, when you give somebody permission to see all your Facebook friends and your own information, etc., so that you can find out which celebrity you look like when you're laughing, the Russians get all your information, or the Chinese get all your information, and then they use that information to advertise on Facebook and Instagram, and they put Trump in power. That's how that works.
On American society, closing our factories, hemorrhaging American manufacturing jobs. And the USMCA is a massive win. It will create 176,000 jobs, add $68 billion to the U.S. economy.
That's good because last year we went down 200,000 manufacturing jobs because of the trade war, because of the tariffs. We were in manufacturing contraction before the coronavirus was here. So yeah, so it's okay. So 200,000 taken away, 149,000 I think she said put back. I'm not good with math, but that's good, right? Trump time.
Economy, 28,000 manufacturing jobs are expected to be added, and agricultural and food exports will increase by 2.2 billion. A big win for our farmers. So we expect to see that start to take effect. It's a big deal, and it's a reversal of
Thank God, because Trump has been killing the farmers with his tariffs. Literally, farmer suicide is. I don't even want to talk about it because I've already got a glass full of tears. The farmer debt is an all-time record. Farm bankruptcies, all-time record. No one's ever seen anything like it.
Decades of failed U.S. policy with the USMCA, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, horrible trade deals that betrayed
We were never in the Trans-Pacific Partnership. No deal was signed.
America's workers. Under President Trump, the forgotten man and woman is forgotten no longer. Thank you.
Now they're dead.
You guys.
With 130,000 dead, how can you call it a success?
130,000 dead. How can you call it a success? I don't know who shouted that, but it was not a familiar voice. It was probably someone she didn't call on because she knew that was coming. What was that? Was that Brian Karem? That might have been Brian Karem shouting that. I don't know if he was in the room or not, but he asked questions like that, and we love him. Okay, let's see if I can find that. Trump is going to win again. If you call this winning, John, I don't know about that. I predicted Trump would win in 2016, John. I do not see it happening this time. It's way early. We don't know. But, yeah, no, I knew that it would happen in 2016, and I lost a lot of Facebook friends. Now that I think about it, they were probably just jealous that I'm Ariel. Okay, this is today's interview. Let's pull up. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and I will show you how the YouTube works. Here we go. Cuomo Primetime. Was it just tonight that she was on Cuomo?
This on the very same day.
Hold on a second, guys. How is she on Cuomo tonight if it's only 6:53 and Cuomo's on at 6? That makes no sense. Was she on last night? Yeah, we love Chris O'Dowd. If you guys haven't seen Get Carter, very, very good show. It's on Epix, which I think you can get for free on Roku. Look it up, Epix. Get Carter. Similar to the movie, but they veer off in a different direction, and Chris O'Dowd is great in it. So, somebody, Cuomo, where was he? Let's watch the Cuomo
State
here.
law took effect.
And this seems to be an updated... Yeah, Cuomo's not even on tonight. So was it yesterday? Let's go back. Let's go to the library. This is what you can do with the Yahoo TV, which is... I'm not endorsing Yahoo TV because they just kicked their price up by $15. Okay, so Cuomo Primetime. Get Carter. Get Shorty. No, isn't it Get Carter? That's a different show. Get Shorty. Thank you, at random. Get Carter was a movie. Get Shorty is the television series. And nobody ever gets them confused except me. Why am I not seeing it? Okay. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. Let's see. So that's live right now. So when was yeah, Cuomo's on right now. It was last night. Thank you, Chris Wilson. Okay. So let's watch it. Come on, let me watch it. Oh, that's upcoming. Here we go. From your library, June 30th. That would be last night. Okay.
Santana, CeCe Winans, Pat Benatar, and Neil Giraldo. The OJ.
Context. And the context is that over the past couple months, the President of the United States has had reportedly 5 phone calls with Vladimir Putin. He has lobbied for Vladimir Putin to attend the G7 summit, potentially rejoin as a member of that organization, bumping it back.
This is last night. I'm not seeing her on there. Was it Mario Cuomo who interviewed? Like, what? Somebody who saw it. Someone was in here and said we should watch this. Let me go 2 nights ago. That's upcoming. Here's 2 nights ago. No, this is June 30th as well. So, yeah, because they repeat the broadcast, and I guess it recorded both of them. Just in case, I'll go through this one.
The news continues right now. I want to hand it over to Chris for Cuomo Prime Time. Chris?
Oh, this is different.
A great name, a towering figure in the Bible. Gives the Jews the holiday of Purim. She was a fighter. She fought for her people, and she will fight for herself now.
Oh, that's
great story.
okay.
Thank you, my friend. All right, Anderson, I am Chris Cuomo.
That was last night, because that's when he interviewed the Cartridge family. Someone just said, yeah, she's on with Irving Cuomo. Just anytime I hear the word Irving now, all I can do is picture Martin Short saying, "Hey, Kayleigh Macaroni, give me a C, a bouncy C." It wasn't long. Does anybody know when this was? I can try and Google's it. Kayleigh. I almost typed in macaroni, which would not come up in the search interview. Kayleigh Cuomo. Okay, let's look at the videos. That's 2019. It was Wednesday night. Is it not Wednesday? I don't even know, guys. No, it's Wednesday right now. What are you guys talking about? I thought it was last night. Saw the clip today. Hold on. Let me look it up on Kayleigh and Mac and Nanny and Cuomo interview. 10 months ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago. Filter. Let's see if I can do it by this week. And no, what are you guys talking about? What did somebody... Casey, was it you who suggested this? Yeah, this is a great freeze frame. Just capture that. I can send that to you guys. Someone asked for a quote. Saw the clip today as well. Then what was it? Can you give me guys more information on the clip? And I'll be happy to find it. If not, I've got Trump queued up behind this. We can watch Mr. Trump. Trump's a full 10 minutes, so I might save that for another broadcast. Maybe Cuomo saw the clip today. Okay, so people are seeing this clip today. Was the clip about something? Was it Rapunzel? Because I happen to know for a fact that she's a Disney princess. And it's hard to put Disney stuff up on YouTube because they will snag you with a copyright strike right away. It's probably what's going on here. Speaking of which, I can see it again. People, we need to do something about this. Someone posted on Twitter, said it was today. Oh, yeah, it's probably ancient then. Twitter does that. Let me check the Twitters. See, maybe it's trending. Kayleigh Macaroni. And latest. Let me put Cuomo in there as well. And yeah, I don't think she's been on. None of them have been on CNN in quite a while now. Giuliani talked to the press on the lawn today. Okay, I was talking about Cuomo talking to St. Louis gun-toting lawyer. Don't know about Kayleigh. Oh, okay. So it was Olex, and it was the gun-toting lawyer, which we have. Does anybody want to see Cuomo talking to the gun-toting lawyer? The Cartridge family in St. Louis, who came out with their guns and they were pointing their guns. I want to see an interview with the lady, not the guy. The guy was actually holding his rifle properly. So when you hold a trigger, you want to have your finger not on the trigger. You want to have it on the outside. You can shift it quickly to the inside and still fire, but holding it on the trigger is extremely dangerous. Just a sneeze, and you could set that thing off, which a police officer friend of mine actually almost shot my ex-wife in the kitchen while he was cleaning his gun. That's another story. No, yes. So one yes. If I get a producer, if there's a producer in here that wants to watch it, then we'll do it. I put everybody together, all my patrons together, but if I hear an actual producer or executive producer say yes, then we will watch the interview. David, I know that you are really into the St. Louis lawyer couple. No thanks. Producer Joanna says no thanks. So unless I get another producer in here saying, nope, we're not going to do it, then we won't watch that. And then we will be back later in the broadcast. If you'd like to be a producer, Producer Rich, if you're in here, if I get you saying yes, then we'll do that. Producer Deborah is not in the room that I've seen, but a lot of people do watch without chatting. And if you are watching without chatting, we really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. When I watch these things, I typically don't chat either, so I get it. Just so long as you absorb some of the information and you understand that we are in a crisis situation because people think they're Ariel and they're not. Only me. When the apocalypse comes to your neighborhood, says Jacob. Okay. I did have Chaz in my neighborhood. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so here is what used to be Chaz. See? And, oh, you know what I can do? Hold on. I'm going to do some technical stuff right now. I'm going to get my in-house producer to do this. Hold on. I can do this. I can do this. So it's there. Now it's behind me. Okay, good. See? That's too far over. Hold on. We're moving things, people. Good. Okay, so this is Chaz. Chaz is literally smaller than my fingernail. That's Chaz. I could eat Chaz. I said that a lot in high school. There was a kid in my dorm named Chaz. He was on the lacrosse team. Kevin LeKitty's got something to say about that too. I don't know if you can hear her. Anyway, yeah. So that's my neighborhood right there. So chaos has come to my neighborhood, Jacob. And you know what? I survived. And I got a hot dog with cream cheese and grilled onions. And I got, I didn't get the coconut vegan soup that was free, curry. I want to go back for that. Okay, let me get rid of that. And we have to decide what we're going to do here, guys. If you'd like to support this sort of rambling, then please do. Go to kevinleefather.com. You can support it there. I somehow managed to move things around so that the PayPal address is on top. There's where you can PayPal me directly if you just want to make a one-time donation. I don't even know if it's a donation. It's not a donation. You're supporting me. So if you'd like to support me with PayPal, now everything's all messed up because I wanted to show Jacob where I lived. So that's public record now. Hold on. I can make this fixed. There it goes. Okay, it's done now. No, hold on. Now this has to come up. I'll fix this later, guys. Nobody cares. You can see the fuzzy green screen right here. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I asked my producers to come over and help me with this, and, you know, no one's coming to my house recently. Read previous comments. Yeah, no, I'm not interested enough, Jacob. Jacob, I'm pretty sure the apocalypse doesn't go neighborhood by neighborhood. No, but I have been to the apocalypse. Acropolis. It's in Greece. Acropolis? Acropolis. I went to the doctor in Capitol Hill where Chaz is, and it turns out I have Acropolis on my colon, so got to be careful. Those BLM commies, no, Black Lives Matter is not a communist organization. Marxists and communists are two different things, but I appreciate the fact that you have been watching some media. So I would encourage you to spread out your bubble, Jacob. I know. I mistangled. It was so good. Well, I'm sure that Kevin Lee Daughter will make me watch it at some point. Or did she? Was that Tangled that she made me watch? She's in a tree. No, that's Rapunzel. That's different. Wait. That's Tangled is Rapunzel. All right, now's a good time to end the broadcast, I think. Now that my green screen is all fuzzy over here. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, kids. I think that's it for tonight. Why don't we do... we get to find out who won. No, Rich isn't here. I'm going to contact Rich because he is the producer of Billy Joel Madness, and we'll come back in just a few minutes with a very quick Billy Joel Madness segment. For those who are only interested in the Trump stuff, That's going to be it for today. And Billy Joel Madness, we don't talk about Trump. And there'll be a new vote coming up for Billy Joel Madness in just a few moments. In the meantime, here are some of the people who've contributed by going to kevinleefather.com. Not all of them, because I still haven't had a chance to sit down because I'm fixing a dishwasher and getting tested for the coronavirus. Oh, and helping my dad recover his invoices from 2011 because the computer crashed and he didn't have it all backed up. So go back up your computers, people. We have a cloud. Here are the credits. Enjoy. We will see you guys very soon for Billy Joel Madness. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll take a look at this Trump interview and whatever the hell else happens tomorrow. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow because A, I'm not Nostradamus, and B, they're just making this up on the fly. There's no plan with this White House. Here
Kevin,
we go.
tell us what you got. Okay, we don't have Kevin.